Guys, we are back and we're talking to Lou, who's going to tell us a bit about Skylanders Imaginators. And I think this is wonderful and I'm really excited about it.
Awesome.
Ever since I mean, I'll get you to talk about it because you'll say it better than me. But ever since I saw the fact that you guys have basically shaped this whole thing around like kids' drawings, just being like so excited about this game and wanting to have their own little critters in it because they love yours so much and obviously they're drawing their own and that you're like, yeah, we're going to facilitate that. It just warms my heart and it makes me so happy. So please just brief me. Just tell me about the game.
Sure. So Skylanders Imaginators, it's our 6th Skylanders game, which is mind-blowing.
Yeah.
And so we have the guys who created and pioneered this Toys-to-Life genre with Skylanders Spyro's Adventure. It's a team called Toys for Bob.
Yep.
And they're making basically that power to create your own Skylander and giving it to kids for the very first time. And so ever since we released that first game, we've been getting drawings, pictures, nonstop ideas of what kids would want to have, you know, their Skylanders be. And so what we did was kind of looked at what was common about all those drawings, and is that they don't want to just make something that looks like a Skylander. They want to make something that plays like a Skylander and sounds like a Skylander. And so using this, what we call creation crystal, which is all fancy. I'd like to see that there. And you put that on the portal. And then at that point, you get to create your own character from scratch by going to different categories like body and choosing all the different parts. You can choose all the different sizes. You can give them a cool added aura or glow to your character. And then from there, you can go and collect gear to put on your character, which changes the stats of your character. You can choose all the different powers that they have by mixing and matching our elements of our characters, as well as what we call battle classes, which are these new fighting styles. So if you want to be a ninja, you can be a ninja. If you want to be a bazooker, you can be a bazooker, or a knight, or 10 different types of fighting styles. And then on top of that, you get to create your own catchphrase, which is completely insane. And choosing your voice and everything. It's crazy.
I just want to call attention to the screen really quickly because I feel like this is really important. It's not just like you guys have made a few options available. It's really, there's so much stuff that you've enabled. There is so much there. There, like head, eyes, ears. You can really, and there's like
even have tails.
Dozens and dozens and dozens.
So many options.
It's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, actually.
That's
it's insane.
Fantastic. For everyone.
And so you can see the character we're creating here is a Bowslinger, which is our kind of our archer class. And so we've got pencil ears, we've got spiky hair, we've got a robotic tail.
Nice
tucks. You've got sliders. You got it all sorted.
My favorite, we have a tail width slider, which is the single geekiest thing.
Make it big. Big tail.
You got really big tail. You got really narrow tail.
Make them real buff.
This is what's necessary.
Making sure we have kind of both.
Body.
I like it. It's making sure that we have both the accessibility for a younger audience and the game do a lot of heavy lifting for creativity, but then also allowing there to be the depth for someone who's as obsessive as me to go in. You can go into colors and choose every single item's individual color at all points. So if you look at the character, you'd be like, oh, you know, he looks great, but man, I wish those gloves, those gloves were a darker shade of green. You can go in there and manually change everything.
Have you heard much about the reception from this? Like kids who are playing it or adults who are playing it? I mean, what's it been like?
I mean, even at the show right now, we've taken it upon ourselves not to make, there's not been the same character twice.
Oh, wow.
And so just seeing everyone get their hands on it, seeing everyone create their own completely awesome character. Some are going more, you know, heroic and adventurous. Some are going spooky. Some are going kind of silly and goofy. And that's what makes Skylanders so great, is that we have all those different aspects, and they really appeal to everybody. And so putting that in the power of everyone's hands and seeing what kids and players are coming up with has just been eye-opening. It's been really cool to see what people do with it. And it's just so awesome so far.
That's fantastic. So, I mean, what are we talking about, like, gameplay-wise and other additions that we're seeing?
So in addition to creating the characters with the Creation Crystal and the Imaginators, one of the big things that we're showing this E3 are our Senseis, which is another class of character. Senseis are the masters.
Oh, wow,
So they represent kind of the peak battle class abilities. And one of the big things that we're talking about is that we have brought in Crash Bandicoot as one of these Senseis.
Let's talk about that.
Yes.
Crash Sensei,
That's
please
right.
teach me your ways.
He is a brawler because he uses those hand-to-hand, spinning attacks. And so what we've done is we've actually looked at kind of the history of Crash. We looked at all the things that made Crash special and gave him a boopable nose, as I believe was the...
That's really important.
That's the official technical term. And so in addition to having a boopable nose, he has just a really great play style that pays a lot of homage to kind of his history, because it's the 20th year of Crash, which is crazy. Yeah. And so in addition to having him in Imaginators, which we wanted to do to kind of introduce him to a whole new line of gamers, next year we're going to be creating remasters of the first 3 Crash games.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. But in Imaginators, we wanted to make sure that people got that taste, got in there, got to see how he played. And
That's
so
fantastic.
if you see, he's got this spin attack, which is indicative of his original attacks in the very first games. He's got the ability to do this really cool kick and flip attack, but then he can also throw out crates, which are from the very first games. What's neat is that how you can then mix your own attacks into kind of those different powers. So by tossing out the crates, you can then do your spin attack to create a tornado to hurl those into enemies.
Yeah.
And so a lot of really fun things there. And then we've even pushed it further by making him the only Skylander with multiple lives.
Okay.
So that when he gets defeated, he does one of his original animations for when he got defeated in the original game. So he'll have a halo and some little wings fly off screen before popping back up from the ground through an RIP tombstone, or he has a Wumpa fruit launcher and a jetpack that you can get. So just paying a lot of attention to the history of the character has been a lot of fun.
What about Crash makes him, to you, such a good fit for the Skylanders universe?
Well, honestly, it's the fact that he's got so much history. And so last year we were able to have a really cool partnership with Nintendo and created Donkey Kong and Bowser characters for Skylanders Superchargers. And this year, going into Crash, I mean, our team is really, really well versed in the history of video games. We're gamers, we love games, and so being able to look at what made him so layering that into his upgrade chains and allowing him to play in this world has just been phenomenal for us.
Awesome.
And really cool.
I can also imagine it must be pretty exciting, given you do have this huge audience of quite young people. Young children who probably haven't been exposed to Crash the same level, but then you've got their parents who are playing with them who have played Crash growing up or as teenagers or whatever. It must be really nice to bring that together.
I mean, honestly, that is totally true. I mean, it's the same thing with Spyro, with having Spyro and Skylanders, and so having the history but then also reintroducing that to new gamers has just been really cool. And so since our game is really kind of a fun family game for everyone, not just those young gamers. It's been great to see kind of couch co-op evolve, and we can have it where you can play as an Imaginator, a created character, with Crash Bandicoot, and so you can have, the original there in the game, as well as a brand new created character playing together. And so it's a really fun way to see kind of the history all in one package. It's really neat.
Yeah. And it seems so wonderful to me, because when I was a kid, I loved watching my dad play games. Okay, they were usually Planescape Torment kind of game, but it's I got so much out of having that spectator experience, and to have not only just this game, but this genre that is really enabling family play and getting kids into games at a young age. It just must be such a fantastic thing.
It is. I mean,
be on the ground floor of.
It's nuts. I mean, I've been on the franchise since Giants, and so it's been a long time, and it's been great just to see how more players come in and players grow up with it, or adults find it and kind of have fun with their kids, and it's just been a really great experience just to see that. And so, I mean, for this year, it's kind of really a big culmination of what we've done in the past years, and so giving kids and parents and anyone who wants to play that power to create has just been completely mind-boggling. So putting that in the hands of the players and getting to see how that changes this whole conversation of what kind of a Toys to Life game can be is something are completely excited about. So
are you quite conscious of when you're developing or when you're working on the sequel or the next version of Skylanders you want to do you have to be very conscious of younger players that may not be quick to learn mechanics? Is that quite difficult in the development process?
It is. I mean,